We are live for another local spotlight here on the Arrow Title Services page, and we go live every Friday with a local business because we ourselves are a local business and we want to highlight those local businesses along the Treasure Coast that are impacting our community and making a difference, as well as just highlighting the small guy because we've all been through this COVID situation and we want to make sure that we are highlighting these local businesses. So thank you guys for joining us, and I am super excited to introduce our guest today, which is Liz Southers with the Fine Print Writing Services. So thank you so much, Liz, for coming on today to share your business with us.
Thanks for saying my name right. I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome. I want you to start us off before we get into what your business does and everything. I think it's really important for people to understand the business owners and where they come from. So tell us a little bit about you and how you got involved with your business.
So exciting news. I actually just paid my first month's rent in a brand new office space. I've been running this business for about 5 years out of my home. So that is really exciting. I feel like I've always been a writer. Like, if you want to hear a little throwback, we'd take long road trips as a family when I was growing up, and my brother would be in the back seat playing on his Game Boy, throwback, and I'd be writing stories in my notebook, for real. Like, that's how I would spend the entire road trip, like 12-hour drives, just writing. My dad actually is cleaning out his house. He's retiring at the end of this year and moving down here, and he just sent me a big box full of old pictures and diaries and notebooks, and it was hilarious. Like, I was reading some of my old stuff. Oh my God, it was great. I'm glad I've matured as a writer and all my stories aren't like teen romance anymore, but it was great. It was fun to look back on it, and just with the knowledge I have now as a writer, looking back at how bad I was. Not bad.
Nobody starts off a pro, right? I mean, yeah. I can write, but like, do I enjoy writing? No.
Really? I love it. Like, everything I do is just like, I don't know, like, the way I express myself is through writing. Like, if I'm doing a task, I write it out first, or even down to having like a serious conversation with my husband, I have to write it out first. Like, I'm not good off the cuff, but if I write it first, it's like, wow, you said that so beautifully. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
You know? I thought about it.
Yeah, like, that's the way my brain works.
Hey, and everybody has a different like niche that they're good at and such like that. Like, I can talk for days on a video. Here I am talking for days on a video. But if you tell me to write it all down, I'm going to say I don't have time. But
speaking of that, like, I don't love public speaking. I actually just joined the local Toastmasters group. Have you heard of them? The Stewart Toastmasters? Yeah. I just gave my first speech this morning. It was really exciting.
That's amazing.
Yes, they gave me really good feedback. They're an amazing group. I've learned so much with them. But that's like my biggest struggle, I think, as a business owner, is like putting myself out there, doing the networking. And this was actually a big step for me, you know, speaking with you on this and just taking that step.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit about what you do. And, you know, I think that in every business, everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses, you know, and some people are really good at one thing. Like, I can talk on video. I'm not going to write a blog. I will not probably ever write a blog because I don't want to write for that long. But that's where you guys come in. Yep. And you guys do what other people may not have their strength in. So talk about so you obviously have a very big passion for writing. Mm-hmm. So talk about how you kind of came up with the idea to create your business now. And yeah, what fueled that?
So it started kind of randomly. When I had my first son, I was at home, just on maternity leave from work. I was a receptionist at a law firm. And while I was on my leave, I had a couple friends reach out, just randomly ask me if I would write a resume for them, because I'm, you know, good with writing and I'm a professional working mother and I've written resumes before and gone on job interviews. And I did, and it just ended up like, then they would say, oh, Liz did mine. And it just kept, word of mouth through like my friend group. And then I was like, this could be a thing. And I started marketing it just on Facebook a little bit. And like almost all my friends have had a resume done by me and a cover letter. And, that's kind of how that little branch of it was started. And then it grew from there. You know what? I do a lot of one-off career documents for clients, like resumes and cover letters, LinkedIn profile updates, but I would really like to do more content and copywriting for websites. I've been trying to focus more on my blog so that when clients come across my website, they know I'm the expert in my field. Like when they're searching for things with, anything to do with professional development, I want my name to come up. But it's hard to find the time to dedicate, like you said, like writing a blog is really time consuming and it takes a lot of research. And I'd also really like to finally write that book, like I've always wanted to. I've had a lifetime of practice, but I just need to take that step and actually sit down and map it out and develop my characters and, just I have ideas. Everyone is always coming to me and saying, hey, how would you feel about writing this? But then that's as far as it goes. I would always love to. Everyone, like anytime I tell someone I'm a writer, they say, oh, I have a story for you. I have a story. And I'm like, let's do it. Yeah. And then I never hear from them again.
Hey, that follow-up.
Yeah, for sure.
But when it comes to, so what do you see the biggest need being for a lot of businesses? Or is it more individuals that you're helping, or is it businesses? What's kind of the industry that most utilizes your type of services?
100% my bread and butter is career documents, resumes, cover letters, and LinkedIn profiles. Like the layman, the average person does not have those writing skills. They have the experience. They can like throw it up on a piece of paper, but they can't organize it and make it sound professional or well written. It's just bullet points, and they need that finesse, and they don't know how to do that. That is the most of the work I get. Like I said, that's pretty much what I pay my office rent with is resume work. It's not glamorous, but it's, that it is like the most need that I come across.
Yeah, of course. And I think especially nowadays where a lot of people are transferring jobs and trying to get maybe virtual jobs, and that resume is going to really be a key point for them to be able to get noticed. Yep. And I mean, resumes have always been a very integral part of the job process, but I think more so now than ever with the virtual aspect of things, and you may not be able to get as many in-person interviews right now. So that resume is going to be very important for a lot of people, and
that'll set you apart from the pile. That you won't get overlooked. I mean, I think the statistic is you get about 6 seconds or maybe 3 seconds or something to make that first impression.
Yeah, because people are going through a stack and they're like, nope, nope. So that's really interesting to know that that's where your bread and butter comes from with those resumes. And I'm curious to hear a little bit more about the LinkedIn profiles and how people can utilize your services for that, because the internet is a very important piece of everything right now, especially in business. And articulating what you do as a business is very important for the social media eye. So you trying to fine tune those LinkedIn profiles. Talk about that process a little bit and what that looks like.
Just the same as people don't really know how to make their resume pop or stand out. It's the same with their LinkedIn profile. Like some people just literally have like, this is what I did, or this is where I worked, and that's it. Like they don't talk about their accomplishments. And some people have incredible accomplishments and they don't even know their accomplishments. Like they'll develop something new at their workplace. And I'm like, hello, who does that? Like, that's incredible. Like Lucy, if I ever did yours, you would have an amazing resume. Like you developed this whole beautiful interview tapestry, and just you've really created such an impact for Arrow Title Services. It's really like everyone knows Arrow Title because of you now. I'm not knocking the owner or anything, but
No.
she like that. She stole you. Like you were a major catch for that company. And like that's, you know, what it takes, you know, and it's great for your experience. And I think personally you should be a journalist because you're really good at bringing out like things about people and learning everything. And, you know, you like to get down in the nitty gritty, and I think you're good at it.
Well, podcaster, you know, it's the same thing, but
but like the LinkedIn profile, it's the same thing. You know, you have to stand out. You have to have the information on there. And I mean, how many people do you like? You run across their name, you Google their name, and their LinkedIn profile comes up. And what if you look on there and there's like nothing there? Like,
a lot of people don't understand, maybe not that they don't understand, but they don't think about the fact that when you are in the social media world right now, everybody is stalking everyone.
Totally.
Like, so it's not, I mean, and if you say that you don't stalk people on the internet, like you're lying to yourself. Like every time you meet someone new, you automatically go to Facebook or LinkedIn or depending on where you're at.
Yep.
And you're Googling them, you're figuring out who they are, what they stand for, what you can see publicly, and getting a gauge for who you're trying to interact with. And I think a lot of people don't think about that aspect, and they kind of oversight that, and they're like, well, I am who I am. Okay, yeah, you are who you are, but if nobody can dictate who you are and they're trying to work with you, you have to build a level of trust with them and a level of confidence, and just they want to get to know, like, and trust you just by looking at you online without
100%. 100%, you know. And what if you are looking for someone to fill this position and it comes down between, and say two people have a really great interview, but one person has, you know, no web presence, the other has, you know, you can find all of their accomplishments and history and companies they've worked with and recommendations from other people. And I mean, who are you going to go with? It's a no-brainer, you know. And then like think about what you list on there, the organizations you're affiliated with, you know, what someone like you who's so ingrained in this community and you're on, you know, boards and you're in these networking groups. I mean, that really just sets you apart.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just recently updated my LinkedIn too, because I realized that like I won some awards and I was like, what am I? Oh, you should probably be on here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, you know, that's for me, and not to, you know, toot your horn, but like you would be like an ideal candidate for me if I'm looking for a client. You know, it's okay to get those like entry-level people, the people who like really need help, have no clue what they're doing, but someone who has a lot of experience, is good at what they do, has the accomplishments, the awards, knows what they want, wants to keep growing, like that is an ideal client. That's an easy job to do for me.
That's awesome. I think that there are a lot of people that don't maybe per se want to toot their own horn, right? Maybe they're trying to be modest and they don't want to like list those accomplishments because they don't want to come off a certain way. That's probably another aspect that, you know, people think of. They don't think of highlighting their accomplishments because they don't want to come off a certain way.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I get that all the time. And I'm like, listen, you don't have to, I will. You know, I will help you write that humble brag, you know, and that is what a resume is. That is, you know, what the LinkedIn profile is for. Like you have to, this stuff is important, you know, like you've worked hard for these things.
That's true. No, you're absolutely right. And so do you have packages that you utilize with people in the sense of like, maybe they need a resume and their LinkedIn and, you know, some other aspects of like, what do those services kind of look like?
Yeah, I have what I call a professional package. You know, I'll do a resume, cover letter, and LinkedIn profile for somebody. And I have to do it in a specific order. I'll do their resume first, so I know exactly what I'm working with and how to update everything, and then I'll do the cover, or no, then I'll do the LinkedIn profile because I run off the resume because from everything I learned about the person, I have all their stuff compiled and organized, and then I will write their cover letter.
Very cool. All right. So that's good to know that you have different services, and I'm sure that those are listed on your website, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which is
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Love it. So I want you to give an example of what you kind of do and what that transformation kind of looks like.
Sure. I would love to. Thank you for asking.
You're very welcome.
All right. So now, are you looking at this?
Yep.
All right. This is an example of something this is a draft that someone will send to me. I will first ask them, send me your resume. So I have a document to work off of, and I have like a list of your experience. And this guy, he has really extensive, great experience, but you cannot tell that from this resume, like at all. He is a decorated veteran. He worked with the same company with multiple promotions for almost 30, I suck at math. What is that? Almost 30 years? 1998?
Long time. 20, yeah, something like that.
Okay, so that's, and he'll say, I'm looking to get into a job like this, and that is important information for me. I'll say, what do you want? What is your dream job? Because I want to get you that job.
And a lot of times people don't realize that their resume should be tailored to the job that they want. The job that you're applying for. Yep.
So he sends me this, and I see this, and I am not impressed. I would never pick this guy out of a lineup ever. So I take some time, I work on it, I figure out exactly what he's going for, and this feels more like something that would fit the description of an executive level vice president of a large company for me. So this is the end result of a lot of research. I know what these companies are looking for in who they're going to hire for his position. None of this was listed on his original resume, right?
Wow.
Like, all of this I deduce from interviewing my clients, figuring out what they're interested in, kind of reading between the lines, like one word bullet point, business integration. What does that even mean? Like, what? Organic growth. So some of the buzzwords or keywords I will throw in there because they are important. And if, the interviewer wants him to elaborate on it, like he does have the experience to back it up.
Yeah.
He had none of his awards on there. This guy won awards with this company. He has a really extensive history. None of it was listed. To me, this guy is an ideal client because I can take what he has and he will definitely get the job he's going for. Like he has, the data to back it up.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I think that a lot of people just don't know what a lot of companies are looking for when it comes to that. And they think, maybe less is more, but that's not always the case. I think it really just depends. And it depends on the job that you're going for too. Too. So that's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that. And I think that gives people a good idea of, just like that transformation that you can make with a resume per se. So what have you seen has helped like people the most, or like where you, do you get what I'm trying to say with that? I don't know.
Kind of. I've been learning this craft for a long time.
Yeah.
I've been running this business for 5 or 6 years now. I've also gotten my certification. I'm a nationally certified resume writer, and that is an entire, class you have to take, and you have to pass the exam, and they have to grade and review your resume examples you send in, and it is no joke. Like, it's really intensive.
Yeah, I didn't even know that existed. So
either did I, until I started doing some research. And I'm one of those people also who just want to keep not expanding, but improving and being better today than I was yesterday, and I came across this national certification for resume writers, and thinking, oh, I'll grab that and I'll be able to throw that on my website. No, it was really intensive, and it was almost like going back to middle school. Like, what's the pronoun in the sentence, and how do you abbreviate this? And it was like literally grammar class again, and everything. Just, I learned so much. That's awesome. I'd been doing this for years before I took that certification, and I was like, oh God, what have I sent out into the world before? Like, what have I done? What did I used to put out?
Oh, that's well, everybody is still growing and everything like that. So, when it comes to, nobody knows everything, right? So as you fine tune those services and everything, and I think it's really, making sure that people are confident in their resume too. So if like you give a resume to someone that's even 10% or 20% or 100% better than what they had before, and they're happy and confident with it, then they're going to be able to show that through to the companies that they're interviewing with once they get that interview. And
that's true also. Like, sometimes I will present them with a product and I will love it, and they'll say, I don't like this, I love that, add this. And like, they'll be telling me to add things that don't make sense and that are totally grammatically incorrect, but that's what the customer wants. Like, okay, if that's what you want to put out there, I will add that for you.
There you go.
I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's awesome. So is there, so you're trying to branch out a little bit more, and I kind of want to, make sure that you just started your business from a brick and mortar perspective, and you have been working out of your home and everything. What's kind of the next step for you here locally? I know that you're very involved, in the Treasure Coast, and you're trying to be, and I've met you at multiple networking events and such. So it's always been great to see you around in the community. And, what are you kind of, how do you, I guess, give back to the community, and how are you like moving forward?
I really want to keep being more involved. I love this community. Like, it is so cool. Like, it feels a little bit like Stars Hollow from the Gilmore Girls. Like, it's such a small town.
Without Rory and Lorelai.
No, we need them. Let's be them.
I'll take Dean too.
But yeah, heck yeah. So, it just has that small town feel. Everyone knows everybody's business, especially now, thanks to Stewart Moms, the Facebook group. And, it has that small town feel. It's safe. I love the school district. Both my oldest is in the school district, and he's super happy. He's also special needs. He has high functioning autism, and the schools have been incredible. Like, I did not have high hopes, honestly, for his school career, and my expectations have been blown out of the water. Like, so I try to stay as involved as I can with the school. I've been on the PTA since he started school, and do what I can. I try to give back. I try to be involved as much as I can, like with, we're both in the Young Professionals of Martin County group.
Yeah.
And I started helping out on the communications committee and doing the newsletter and social media. That's fun. That also just helps me stay involved. I get a little bummed out that I can't go to all the events all the time, with the kids and the husband and the house and the dog but, I do what I can. If I can't do all those things, what can I do? I can get involved in other ways. I can join a committee, and, if there's a will, there's a way. If I can't go to all the events, what can I do?
Absolutely. Hey, positivity and just persevering through that. I think that's super important. And you're not from the area, right?
I am not. And I do notice a lot that when, like, for example, We are putting out, I'm not going to give anything away, but we are putting out the top 10 to watch in 2021 in the Young Professionals of Martin County newsletter. And just in my research for doing that stuff for YPMC, I noticed that a lot of people who have prominent positions in the community, it's important for them in their bios, like on their websites, that they state they are Martin County natives. And sometimes I feel like maybe that would hinder me if I ever wanted to get more involved, like in the community, but I don't know, maybe not.
No, I don't think so. I think that it is important to like state it just because we're so rare. I'm born and raised here in Jensen Beach, and
right.
You know, it's definitely rare to find, because when I tell people that, they're like, "Whoa!" It's like you're.
It
like,
shocks me too.
Yeah,
it's also good. Like
that's
I
what we transplant here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania originally. I've been down here in Florida for about 10 years. My husband's a Florida native. He's like third generation or something.
You're married into a Florida native.
Yeah. But yeah, so no, I'm not from here. I love it here. I never want to leave.
Well, hey, there you go. That's the next best thing, is coming into a community and, you know, really just trying to delve into it and be a part of it. So, yeah, absolutely. And did we miss any of the services that you kind of do? I know we said LinkedIn and the resumes, but do you do social media for people? Like, how extensive, is there anything you don't do that people come to you and be like, hey, can you do this? And you're like, nope, I don't do that. Like, how?
Social media. I do not love doing that. And that is a high need for people. So
it is.
Yeah. If there's anyone out there who does like managing people's social media, give me your info and I'll pass it along, because I get that all the time. Yeah. And I don't love it. I don't.
Yeah. It's a whole other thing to manage. That's for sure.
It is. It's super time consuming, and it's a different type of copywriting. Yeah. You know, it's more writing like how people talk, and just, you know, it's like clickbait and But if
she loves the pure content.
Yeah.
Pure content. I love it.
If I could like sum up what I do and what I want to do, it would be like, this is where I am. I am getting a lot of experience. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning so much constantly, you know, trying to improve my craft. But my dream would be, this might sound silly, but I would love to write for a TV show like The Office. Please tell me you like The Office, Lucy.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm the weakest link. Goodbye.
But I think it's one of the greatest shows of our generation. And I hope people out there laugh. Not the greatest. But I mean, like,
my heart.
It's okay. Schitt's Creek is pretty good. But
that's my type of humor.
It's like the entire show takes place in one large room, you know, like almost the entire show. And like the writing is what made the show great. You know, like the writers know their characters so well. They put them in these crazy or romantic predicaments, and it always seems sincere and relatable, you know? And I would love to do something like that. And everyone who has ever worked on that show loves it. And like, I just want that type of job where I do love coming to work every day. I do. I'm really lucky for that. But something like that, where just like my creative juices are flowing and I'm enjoying it. And yeah.
Maybe you just ought to make your own show and become a YouTube star.
Ugh. I'm too old for that.
Well, Liz, thank you so much for coming on and telling us a little bit about your business and how people can help you and get connected with you. So I do want you to, mention what are the best ways that people can get in touch with you, so that they can reach out to you if they need any help with any of their fine print writing.
Thanks, Lucy. Website is fine. Contact forms on there. Facebook Messenger, phone, anything. Like, I'm at your fingertips.
Love it. Thank you so much, Liz. Very much appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit about you and what you do. Guys, we host this local spotlight every week because we are a local business along the Treasure Coast of Florida here, and we want to highlight other local businesses to give them a spotlight here along the Treasure Coast, because it's important to us to do that for our local community. And just I don't think that they're getting as much exposure as they should, especially the time that we have right now. So it's always great to hear from local business owners like Liz herself and just learn a little bit more about what they do and how they can help people here in our local community. So thank you, Liz. And for all of you guys who are watching, we hope that you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments or contact Liz directly, as well as follow us on Instagram at the Arrow Title Services, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Arrow Title Services, like us on Facebook, and hopefully you guys will tune in for the next local spotlight. We go live every Friday at 2 p.m. with a new guest, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week and that's left of it and your weekend. Thank you, Liz.
Thanks, Lucy.
Have a great one. Bye.